Building strong legs using only your body weight can be boring and difficult. Use this exercise to change that. What's going on, guys? It's Vaughn here from Body Elements, and today we're going to be dissecting one of my favourite bodyweight leg exercises, the Reverse Nordic Curl. The Reverse Nordic Curl is a move that uses natural knee extension to target the muscles at the front of the body, such as the core, the hip flexors, and the quads. It's one of the few bodyweight exercises that will send people to failure with a low number of reps, meaning more muscle, strength, and size gains. The exercise isn't just for building muscle. It is incredible at improving your mobility and flexibility through those muscles at the front of the body. In particular, if you have really tight quads, this exercise is going to be gold for you. Although this exercise can look heavy on the knees, it can be very beneficial to your knee health if you progress at the right pace. To begin the Reverse Nordic, we start by sitting on our shins with our knees a little bit wider than hip width apart. A little bit more narrow or a little bit more wide isn't going to be a problem here. Just make sure your knees aren't excessively narrow, because if they're too narrow, it's going to be hard to get into those deeper ranges of the Reverse Nordic Curl. In terms of the foot position, the ideal foot position is having the foot flat on the ground, expressing that plantar flexion of the ankle. Since this is a position your foot is going to be in when you do attempt the full range of Reverse Nordic Curl, it's beneficial that you start by training the exercise with the feet flat. If you have some sort of injury that's going to prevent that ankle plantar flexion, having your feet flat in this position, you can use a toe curled position when you're starting out, but in the long term, I want you to work on that ankle plantar flexion. The flat foot position will feel more comfortable over time as the mobility in your ankle improves. With the starting position established, the lowering phase is next. You're going to want to engage the core, keeping the tummy tight, and engage the glutes, creating a bit of a posterior pelvic tilt. So just squeezing the bum as hard as you can. This is going to fully engage the quads, the hip flexors, and the core for this exercise. Now, the lowest position for each person is going to be different, and we'll go into later in this video some regressions we can use to increase that range for each person. As with any exercise, be wary of mistakes that can creep in as the exercise starts to get a bit more difficult. A very common mistake to look out for is overarching the back to get an illusion of more depth. When you're overarching this position, you're not only tricking yourself that you're getting deeper, but you're actually reducing the amount of muscle engagement you're getting through the entire range of the exercise. This is going to give you a bit of a bad surprise and make it much more difficult to progress when you want to get that shoulder to ground, full range Reverse Nordic Curl. Maintaining that glute and core engagement is going to prevent the overarching of the back here. Try to lead with the shoulders as opposed to leading with the head. That can also influence the overarching. Another mistake that's common to see is tucking your chin in too much. The reason for this is you're generally tension hunting and squeezing your body, contracting as many muscles as possible, especially when the exercise starts to get really difficult. Not to mention, tucking the chin, as subtle as it is, reduces the total lever length of the exercise, meaning it's making it slightly easier. Keep the head in a nice neutral position by looking straight ahead as opposed to trying to look down or toward the body. This is going to increase total muscle engagement and make the exercise look a lot more aesthetic. The last mistake I want to go through is avoiding kipping or using momentum to complete your Reverse Nordic Curl reps. This generally happens as you start to either push the reps really high or you're trying to go into a range probably further than what you can manage with a nice controlled rep. The big giveaway is if your knees are coming off the ground at the bottom of the rep, or if you're going through your reps really quickly and you're using that momentum and that elastic energy to come down and come up. If you're kipping, you may also notice that you're hinging at the hips to get back up because you're not quite comfortable in that range that you're going to yet. This can increase your risk of injury while doing the exercise if you've got a lack of control. It's also going to reduce the amount of muscle gains you're going to make, and it's also going to reduce the amount of mobility and flexibility you're going to get out of the exercise. So make sure you're going slow and you're controlling the range and not going further than your body is capable of taking you. As you can probably tell, a full range rep, shoulders to ground, is no easy task and it's going to take some training. Here are some regressions we can use to get us to that ultimate goal of a full range Reverse Nordic Curl. If you're really struggling with this exercise or you have some sort of pre-existing knee pain, a good way to reduce the intensity of this is raising the foot as opposed to having the feet flat. You can use a raised foot to reduce the intensity of any of the following regressions I'm about to give you. The very first form of this exercise is using the hip hinge to complete the up and down movement. Again, if you don't have the strength or you're suffering from some sort of pre-existing knee injury, this is a great place to start. The next regression, and one I personally used a lot to get my full range rep, is doing band assisted reverse Nordic curls. Each person is going to have the range that they can get to without the band. The band is going to allow you to go a little bit deeper and test the edges of your mobility. It's also going to allow you to build strength in those ranges that you wouldn't be able to get into without the band. I should mention, if you're doing partial range curls, it's nice to have a reference object behind you to know what depth you're going to each time you're training this movement. When you're using these reference objects, aim to get your shoulders to the object as opposed to getting your head to the object. Remember, this is going to reduce any instance of overarching in the back. If you've mastered a certain range using the band to assist, you can now move on to eccentric or the lowering phase of the exercise. Eccentrics are a very common regression when doing bodyweight exercises, and the reverse Nordic is no exception. To perform the eccentric, all you're going to do is lower yourself down to a range that you can control, and then from there you can hinge at the hips and use your arms to catch yourself, bring yourself back up. Once you're comfortable with a couple of reps doing an eccentric at a certain range, then you can go the full rep. So you're controlling yourself all the way down and then controlling yourself all the way up. If you can accomplish 3 to 5 reps at a certain range, you're going to be capable of moving then to your next range, starting with the band, moving to the eccentric, and then again conquering that full range all the way down and all the way up. With these regressions and the knowledge of how to perform the reverse Nordic, there's nothing holding you back from getting your first full range rep. You'll build strong legs, resilient knees, and improving your range of motion, all while having a bit of fun learning a skill. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps me out heaps, and I'll catch you guys next time.